Hey fellow Spartans, it's your friend Monocle Mayhem, the entirely blue Spartan. Today I'll be tackling a controversial subject in the Halo community regarding 343's designs for Spartan armor. I will do what some haven't, and that is review almost every armor set Halo 5 has to offer. Now if you're under the age of like 18 or 20 and your least favorite game in the series is Halo 3 because it was too slow and didn't look cool, then I think you should get the hell out of here before I lay out how stupid you are. My personal opinion on the customization in Halo 5 is, it's shit. Sure, we have around 200 armor sets, but this is an issue of quality over quantity. The actual customization is a huge step back. It's not as bad as the Master Chief collection, because you can at least change your helmet. But that's like saying cancer is better than AIDS because you can still have sex without risking someone's health. But honestly, when you look back at Halo Reach and Halo 4, hell, even Halo 3, a 10-year-old game, it's pathetic. When it comes to the topic of Halo's current art style, the Spartans have seen better days. The few odd people that defend this Iron Man meets Power Rangers aesthetic use such descriptions as, "It's so much more realistic, it's sleeker, it makes more sense canonically.
Nanobots.
You just hate because it's new, bro." Full disclosure, I did a bunch of sifting through old forum posts on Halo Waypoint, or the Halo channel as they call it now. Waypoint sounded better. Anyways, I did a bunch of looking around through comments on popular YouTube videos and forum posts to refresh myself on the logic that 343's use, and I felt like I had to take a bleach bath because of how unclean it made me feel. Now it's time for the serious shit. I'm gonna go through Halo 5's customization. I will be skipping over some of the variants and their original versions, depending on whatever I come across first. This is about design, not whatever new decals have been added in update number 500. I might skip over some armor sets depending on how similar they look to others, to save time, because if I covered all of them, I'd have to kill myself. Also, I will point out anything good if there is any. If you think I'm one of those people that say 343 ruined my life, that's just silly. 343 didn't do that. Fucking feminism did.
I'm the mother of a young son, and I'm raising my son as a feminist.
Something that we are getting out of the way right now is that the recruit armor sets the standard for what we are going to see mostly in three categories: chest, shoulders, and helmet. The chest is angular with a metal tab sticking out on the top. I'm guessing it's supposed to be a neck guard, but since it's so far from the neck due to the armor impractically sticking out and being so thin that it looks like it could snap off, I'm guessing it's just there to add pointless detail to the armor that just overcomplicates things. The shoulders are nothing special, kinda bulky I guess. Just average shoulder pieces. The helmet is also nothing special, just a ridiculously over-designed ODST or Mark V helmet. The legs are fine, the arms are fine, everything's fine, nothing sticks out in a crowd really. You can make the argument that it's only the armor you start out with, so it makes sense why it looks so meh, but in Halo 3 the default armor was Master Chief's Mark VI, the most iconic armor in video game history. Remember when I said the recruit sets the standard? Well, look what we have here. Another angular chest, although it looks like a butchered version of the default chest from Halo Reach. Speaking of butchered, the shoulders look like Mark VI shoulders. Actually, if you replace the actual Mark VI shoulders in Halo 5 with these, I might like that armor set a bit more. But we'll get there. The helmet is okay. Another ODST ripoff though. Oh look, another angular chest with a pointless metal tab sticking out at the top. But I do give it credit for having smooth surfaces. Shoulders are alright, the thrusters look like bumblebee wings. The helmet? Hey, where have I seen this before? The Athlon armor is actually pretty neat. I like how smooth it looks. I can actually identify it as being something unique in a sea of other armors where everything is jagged and has so much unnecessary detail or overcomplicated designs. The helmet is weird. It looks like a football helmet. Okay. What the hell? What's with the shoulders? Realistic indeed. It looks like the shoulders are recycled pogs. I don't know, circles seem to be very common in this armor. The thrusters are big cylinders, the chest actually is different for once. Looks a lot like the Mark IV chest. Remember when Bungie's Spartan armor seemed to fit the Spartan and didn't stick out in every direction? Me too. The helmet looks like a dirt bike helmet. Wait, actually, it looks like the Scout Trooper armor from Star Wars. I hope I'm not the only one to notice that. Oh look, another angular chest with a metal tab. But it's okay, the shoulders are triangles now. The classic space helmet design has been scrapped in favor of an upside down pair. The classic EVA is one of my favorite helmets. I just like the look of a big visor, and it's always been kind of intimidating. But that's probably thanks to meta from Red vs. Blue. But here they just fucked it up. A shining example of 343 changing things that was fine as it was. Okay, this is the first one that really looks weird. The chest has a gap that looks like a mouth. The thrusters go further back than slavery. The shoulders are okay, but have a handle attached. Same with the arms. I guess that's practical. You can line them up with your My Little Pony keychains. The helmet— oh my god! What's wrong with your face? Yup, nothing but gritty realism here. Armor is fine, especially the chest. The helmet— the armor's fine. The helmet looks good from the front, but when you look at it from the side, you feel bad for him pitching a tent on his forehead for all eternity. Also, he has nice nips too. Another angular chest, but the shoulders look neat, kinda like Chief's new shoulders. Now the helmet— well, I'd be covering my eyes too if my brethren looked like discount Power Rangers. When making the script for this video, I went through the footage and wrote up descriptions of the sets one by one, and when I was recording the footage I realized I skipped right over Legionnaire and straight to Recluse. So I decided not to put the script in order to highlight that mistake. You know why I did that? Because the armor for Legionnaire looks so similar to Foehammer that I thought it was the same thing and accidentally passed it. I can't say the same for the helmet though. It's certainly different, except it looks like Squidward. Good lord, who thought this helmet looked good in any way? It's so ugly. Next. Thankfully the helmet looks good. It's not an exact recreation, but it could have been a lot worse. I wouldn't be too surprised if someone preferred this over the original since it actually shares relation with the original, and I suppose could be seen as an improvement depending on taste. But look at the armor! This shares no similarities with the original whatsoever. It would be forgivable if you had to complete a certain set of challenges to unlock this, but no, you just get it in a rec pack like everything else. The sense of badassness is completely gone, so if you don't want us to be rewarded this amazing armor like back in the day, fine. You could at least not fuck it up since this elite set of armor is now one among many and doesn't have the same history as the old. Completely changing it is a double middle finger. I like the soldier armor. It looks different from the standard armor you would see throughout the game. You see these pouches decorating armor, which makes it look a tad more gritty, and would fit in with the geared up look of the Spartans in Halo Reach. This also reminds me of the attachments from Reach. I wish we had those back. The helmet? Eh. The shoulders look like misshapen Doritos, and I like the bulky chest, just wish it was more flat. The helmet looks like the Rogue helmet from Halo 3. Another favorite of mine, but this one has Spider-Man eyes. Okay. I really like the Warrior armor. The helmet kinda looks like the EOD from Reach, but with an Optimus Prime mouthguard. The shoulders look good, same with the chest. There's a bit of nostalgia attached to this for me. It was all over the marketing for Halo 4's multiplayer. It was some of the first images seen from the game, and the reds and blues from Red vs. Blue wore it while talking about the game's release date.
Alright, fine. You can take a sick day. Actually, we're in luck. The Blues sent me a message and they want to call a one-week truce starting November 6th as well.
They did? What are they talking about down there? They're talking about November 6, 2012. It's the day Halo 4 comes out. It is? Yep. They announced it earlier today. Oh, right. Hey, man. I think I might be coming down with a bit of... Oh, don't bother. I already took care of it for us. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, man.
Presumably because the Mark 6 armor wasn't finished yet, but in hindsight, I would have preferred this be the Reds and Blues armor for seasons to come. Like I said, we'll get there. If more of the armor in 343's multiplayer had a similar design philosophy as this, you know, a mix between sleek, practical, gritty, and simplistic, then I think we wouldn't end up with half of the armor looking like it was designed by people that don't understand Halo's aesthetic. But I guess that's what happens when you outsource the duty of armor designs to different studios. Oh well. Remember when I said I love EVA? Well, this armor looks much closer to EVA than the actual EVA armor. Just make the shoulders bigger and there you go. Before more classic helmets were added to the game, this was my favorite substitute for the EVA helmet. And it looks like a reasonable update. That is, if it was EVA. But it's Buccaneer though. Ugh. The helmet? Bungie did it better. So much better that 343 didn't want to acknowledge it, so when they did bring the classic version back, they just renamed it so no one would think to compare. You sneaky bastards. Another Violated Rogue helmet with mildly cool looking armor. Next. The armor looks good. What about the helmet? Oh god, what have you done to EOD? Wow, it's so original they decided to recycle the scout shoulders. The helmet? Fuck off. It's Athlon with more lines, and the helmet is a sodomized CQB. I like the shoulders, and the helmet looks like a more angry version of Halo Reach's Mark 4G. Fenrir? Fenrir? Okay. The armor is bland, and the helmet is... Boring. Also, have you ever wanted EVA with a mustache? There you go. The armor's meh. The helmet is an EVA wearing a hood with orthodontic headgear. Oh god. It's Forerunner armor. Cool? Wow, I didn't think it was possible to make armor in Halo 5 look worse than it already did. Okay, Nomad is basically Jumpmaster with a blunter head. Okay. I actually thought 343 fucked up and just released the exact same armor with a different name. Although that's not exactly hard to believe. No, they just look very similar.
I'm Spartacus. No, I am Spartacus.
Once again, this armor is a better EVA than EVA itself. But only the armor, not the actual helmet. The helmet is kind of weird looking, but it looked a lot better back in Halo 4 when it had that skull on the visor. That was the closest you could get to Emil's helmet. Basically a poor man's version, but still cool. But now it's just a bland EVA clone. And we have Emil's helmet again, so even if it did retain the skull, it would be obsolete. Whatever. I like how the chest looks like a wolf face. The helmet is an Asian CQB. I'll just leave. Raijin? Yeah, Raijin sounds right. The armor's fine. The helmet looks like...
Things that bother you never bother me. I feel happy and fine. Ha ha! Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time.